Hey guys, this is AJ22 today with some bonus content. Everybody loves bonus content. I know, I love bonus content, you love bonus content. Everybody loves bonus content. Pretty sure I just hit my microphone a second ago. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the video too bad. Yeah, so I'm hoping to actually start doing these little side videos a little more often soon, like maybe once a week, where I just talk about something to do with the fandom or my life or whatever. Something that is relevant that week. Something that's not quite a vlog, though I would like to get into vlogging again, but isn't really refined enough to be regular content on my channel, like main series theory/analysis content, which more analyses are actually coming fairly soon. I should get that out to you guys too. This video is actually on the short list that I mentioned in the return/jailbreak review of episodes that I usually consider important enough for people to watch to get them up to Jailbreak, because I do consider Jailbreak kind of the moment where the show put its foot down and said, this is the direction that we're going to take from here on out. This is the real direction of our show. We have found our footing now. And I kind of figure if somebody likes Jailbreak, if they watch Jailbreak, with proper context obviously, if they watch Jailbreak and they enjoy it, they're going to enjoy the show overall. And so I kind of have a short list of episodes that I consider important to the context of Jailbreak, and then all the other episodes, people can go back and watch them later. So if you're like trying to get a friend into Steven Universe, you could hypothetically use this short list to get them to that pivotal episode faster. And I actually do have a physical list. I actually wrote it all out, which I don't usually do. You can look at it. It's just a list of the episode names and like very briefly what my thoughts are going to be, and there's a couple on the back too. And it is just up until Jailbreak. Keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that this isn't going to be the same for every single person. If you have a friend who you think might respond really well to some of the episodes that I am suggesting could be skipped, then by all means show them those episodes. And keep in mind, I'm not saying that any episode of the show should be skipped permanently, except for Say Uncle, obviously, which is actually the next episode that's up for me to review, and it physically hurts me to say that. I'm just saying that once you get them to Jailbreak and once you're sure that they're hooked on the show, then by all means, go back and show them the episodes that were skipped over. Just maybe don't worry about them first time through. And so very, very briefly, I am going to run you through these roughly 30 episodes. Pretty sure it's 30. I'm pretty sure I counted it out as 30. And give some very brief reasons as to why I think that these episodes are important enough to include on this list. First of all, I have Gem Glow, obviously, because it introduces the mains. And then Laser Light Cannon as well, because it introduces Greg and Rose. I mean, obviously it doesn't introduce Rose properly, but it introduces Rose as a character concept. Then the next two are kind of tentative. I have Cheeseburger Backpack on here, which you guys know I'm not super fond of. If you are likewise not super fond of this episode, then use your best discretion, I guess. But I do think that the Cheeseburger Backpack itself, as well as the Sea Spire, are iconic enough aspects of the show that it is a worthwhile episode to show people. The next episode I have on here is Cat Fingers, another one where you should use your best discretion. Cat Fingers is very body horror-y. So if you think that whoever this hypothetical person is who you are introducing to the show wouldn't respond well to that kind of body horror stuff, and you have it in your capacity to explain that Steven's shapeshifting works different from the others and he can't control it yet, then you could probably skip this one, but otherwise go ahead and let him watch it. It's an interesting episode. Next, of course, I have Bubble Buddies because it introduces Connie. Serious Steven, almost entirely for the mural, the all-important mural that everyone is still talking about. Then Steven's Lion, because even though I don't find it a very interesting episode on its own, it does set up Lion and he's very, very important. Giant Woman, of course, because it introduces the concept of fusion, and the character of Opal. Both are very important going forward. So Many Birthdays, because it not only introduces the fact that Steven can control his aging, or should be able to once he learns to control that power better, but it also is the episode where it's revealed to us that the gems are ageless. Up until then, we knew that they were old, but we couldn't really be sure how old they actually were. Then, believe it or not, I actually have Lars and the Cool Kids on here. I called this the Good Lars episode back in my review, and I stand by that. Not only is this a good Lars episode that develops his character in a positive way, in a satisfactory way, but it actually ties into the lore of the gems and their backstory with Rose's mysterious moss. Despite the fact that I'm not really a huge fan of Lars or his characterization, I actually think that Lars and the Cool Kids is one of the better early episodes of the show that doesn't focus on lore stuff. And of course it does introduce the Cool Kids properly, who I mean, we all know the cool kids are awesome. Then Steven the Sword Fighter, because it introduces the concept of poofing gems and gem regeneration. Lion 2 next, as it is the episode that starts to really set up the mystery around Rose, and also introduces Rose's sword and her armory. Rose's Room, for the concept of Rose's Room, though again, much like the first Lion episode, I did kind of find this one a little underwhelming. I still think Rose's Room is important enough to warrant showing people this episode the first time through. Coach Steven is on the list because it introduces Sugilite and the concept of fusions that go bad, and of course for Pearl's song, which is just awesome. Monster Buddies, for obvious reasons, I hope. Indirect Kiss, again, I hope this one's pretty obvious, but specifically because it introduces the concept of Rose's healing powers and Steven's healing powers, which are very, very important, very, very soon, and pretty much all throughout the series, really. And then, of course, Mirror Gem and Ocean Gem, for introducing Lapis, for confirming that Steven and the others fight other gems, that the monsters they fight are other gems, and of course for the very heavy hint at the end that there is something out there that the gems are afraid is going to come for them. Space Race, for the concept of the galaxy warp and the confirmation that the gems are stranded here. Weirdly enough, this is the episode that confirmed it. It was this late in the series that we finally got concrete confirmation that the gems are effectively refugees. Fusion Cuisine, for introducing Connie's parents and introducing Alexandrite, even though, again, this is an episode that I find pretty underwhelming in hindsight. Watermelon Steven, for the Watermelon Stevens. Lion 3, again, I hope this one's fairly obvious, as it was this episode that gave us the concept of Lion's Pocket Dimension, as well as the message that Rose left to Steven, which is quite literally the only time that Rose has ever spoken to her son. Warp Tour, because of Peridot. Alone Together, because of Stevani. The Test, even if you didn't show them Cheeseburger Backpack, show them the test for that dialogue between the gems towards the end of the episode when they don't think Steven is listening. That dialogue is just so freaking good. Future Vision, for the titular Future Vision. On the Run, for introducing the kindergarten, along with it just being a fantastic, emotionally charged episode. Winter Forecast, because not only does it explain Future Vision better than Future Vision did, but I just love that scene between Steven and Connie at the end. I just can't bring myself to suggest skipping it. Then Marble Madness, because Peridot again. Rose's Scabbard, for, again, very obvious reasons. It was another very emotionally charged episode that really established Pearl's true feelings for Rose and set that whole storyline in motion. The Message, even though it is a little fillery, it is good build-up for the return in Jailbreak, and then, of course, the return and Jailbreak. Now, you may be saying, but AJ, aren't there a couple episodes in there that do contribute to the story, and yet you told us to skip them? Why is that? It's actually pretty simple. Those episodes didn't make the list because, quite frankly, they can fit anywhere. Episodes like Story for Steven, for example, or Maximum Capacity. Even though they tie into the history of the characters and their characterization, and may have important lore tidbits in them, it isn't necessary to get those lore tidbits or those character histories before Jailbreak. In fact, there's probably a few episodes on this list that fall into this category that don't have to be on this list. I just think it would screw up the continuity a little bit to view them after viewing Jailbreak. Once again, this is entirely subjective. You're going to know the person you're introducing the show to better than anybody else, and this is kind of a really hypothetical situation in the first place because, honestly, how often are you going to be in exactly the kind of situation to use this list in the first place? But you guys asked for it. There it is. This is actually the second version of this video that I made. I recorded all of this once before I actually wrote out the list, and I got most of the way through editing it, and I realized I hated it. I mean, I wasn't feeling it anyway, and then I just kind of sat back, looked at my screen. I'm like, I hate how this is turning out. Shot the whole thing again. But so far, I'm feeling this one a lot better, so hopefully this one turns out a little bit better. Guys, let me know what you think of the list. What would your list be in this very unlikely scenario? What do you think of the idea of me providing a little bit more bonus content each week? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Either way, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.